Negril, let's talk. What it means is that it's a conversation today. It's not just presentations and then we leave here. We really need to hear from you, the citizens of Negril, and certainly by extension, and we go as far as Lucy, we have Green Island, we have Southern Lamar, etc. So it's a conversation. So my name is Dwayne Vernon. Privilege is mine to be the Executive Director of the Social Development Commission. I am actually supporting my brother Oliver Pagan, who should have been your Master of Ceremony, but he'll be here shortly. If I am doing well, we'll leave him outside. If I am not doing well, then he'll replace me. How does that sound? Agree? Yeah. Can I work with that? Yeah. Alright, so we're leaving him outside. Alright? So before we go any further, we'd like to invite Reverend Hilma Tate to say a prayer.
May I invite us all to stand, please? Let us pray. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, the blessed three in one, we worship you, we adore you, we magnify you. We thank you, Lord God, for your love towards us. Love so great that you sent your one and only Son to die to save us. We pray now, Lord God, that as we come to the close of this day, beautiful day that you created, we pray, God, as we come together to look at what we have been doing in this part of Jamaica in order to make things better, we pray, God, that your divine presence will be in our midst. Ask that you will take full control of everything that will be said and done, and may your name be glorified. Through Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you, Reverend Dick. So each year in November we celebrate local government and community development month. It is also youth month and I think experience month as well. But experience month as well. So we're talking about local government and community development as well as youth month and I think parent month as well. This is the second town hall meeting we're having in November because as the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, we believe in a type of approach that is inclusive, that is participatory, that the decisions that we make, they are informed by your own perspective, the contributions that you have. Because we don't know it all and we need to work together for Jamaica to be a better place. Do you all agree? Absolutely. Certainly. So each year we embark on a series of town hall meetings to hear from you, the residents. At the head table, allow me to recognize Honorable Desmond McKenzie, CD, MP, JP, or Minister of Local Government and Community Development. Please give him a round of applause. It is not a dressing contest, all right, between our mayors. It's not. They are both elite, they are dapper, they are both dapper. So the only reason why I'm calling his worship Mayor Bertel first is because his name is first on the program, alright? So his worship the Mayor Bertel Chairman of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, Center. His worship the Mayor Sheridan Samuels, Chairman of the Hanover Municipal Corporation. At the table we also have Ms. Sherona Campbell, Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. So this is the point where if Oliver comes, they might say, Oliver, take him down. This is the point because I'm trying, you see, I don't want to make a mistake, but I have my friend on the far end of the table from, absolutely, Mr. Daniel Grizzle. He is Negril Chamber of Commerce. So certainly, without further ado, I'm going to invite His Worship the Mayor, Bertel to bring you greetings. Mayor?
Thank you very much, Mr. Vernon. Honorable Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government and Community Development. Mr. Sheridan Samuels, Mayor of Lucy in the parish of Hanover. My colleague councillors, members of the Ministry, staff of the Ministry of Local Government who are here with the Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a warm welcome to you all this afternoon. This afternoon, it really gives me pleasure to welcome each and every one here. And as we are having this community meeting, I just wish to inform each and every one that we are in Local Government Month. And every year, in the month of November, we celebrate Local Government Month throughout Jamaica. This year, we have gone through quite a bit of exercises so far. I don't know if the Minister will have time to deal with some of them, but we have our church service, we have our launch, and next week we are going to work in the infirmary in Hanover, and during the other week we are going to St. Anne's to build a house for someone who is really in need of a house. And I was watching TV one night, I think it was this week, and I saw the gentleman who the house is going to be built for. And you can see that that gentleman surely needs somewhere to lay his head. As we go through Local Government Month, and as the theme for the month is Protect the Vulnerable through Local Governance, we have our part to play as a corporation, and the ministry have their part also to play. And I want to thank the Minister himself for what he has been doing for us for Local Government Month so far this year. Minister, I thank you very much, and I know that all the endeavors for the month will be carried out. I would just like to say also that this meeting is very important for it to be held in Negril, because I know there are several issues from different sectors, and I'm quite sure that tonight we will be able to go through them and iron them out, that when we leave here tonight, we can say it was good to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you to be here. God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, which part of Negril do you take ownership for? The hotel side, or this side you take responsibility for? You don't want up the beach? You don't? Maybe. All right, let me welcome His Worship the Mayor, Sheridan Samuels from the Hanover Municipal Corporation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not going to be as powerful as usual. I'm under the weather, I'm under the flu, so as a result of that, I have to be very calm. Masters of Ceremony, Dr. Vernon, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Honorable Desmond McKenzie, His Worship the Mayor of Sablama, Mr. Bertel, councillors from the Westmoreland and Hanover Municipal Corporations, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted for the opportunity to be here. It gives me a great pleasure to bring greetings from the Hanover Municipal Corporation. First of all, let me extend a warm welcome to Minister McKenzie, who has taken time out to come and talk with us in Negril. And I'm speaking of Negril, not only Negril Westmoreland, but Negril, Hanover, and Westmoreland. Why I have to emphasize on that is because of the fact that some time ago I was listening to School Challenge quiz, and the question was asked, where is Negril? And the answer was Westmoreland. I was so upset, and you know what? The student that answered the question that way got points for it. It was correct. And I'm saying that we need to correct that aspect of it, because the better part of Negril is in Hanover, don't you? Who agree with me?
Disagree.
So I want to thank Minister McKenzie to take the time out to come here as we embark on our local government and community development month. I must convey my appreciation to the organizers of this town hall meeting for giving us the opportunity to be properly informed by the stakeholders. Most of all, ladies and gentlemen, it allows us the opportunity to ask tough questions today. So functions like these are important for the sustainable development of communities within Hanover and Westmoreland. Therefore, we hope this meeting today will not just be a talk shop. As you will have been aware, Negril is internationally known for the 7-mile-long white sand beach, bars, restaurants, and resorts. A place where visitors save a lot of money to come party, get married, relax on the beach, and soak up some tropical suns. A destination that has most of its roots planted in Hanover and Westmoreland. You will also agree with me, Minister, that tourism is extremely important to Jamaica. So important that it identified as Jamaica's second most important earner of foreign exchange. Indeed, it brings us commerce, job, infrastructure, and development. Equally, tourism is extremely important in Negril, as it should bring along with it commerce, jobs, infrastructure, and development. Minister, it is against this background that we seek to have the following issues addressed. And these are mostly issues for Negril and somewhat Hanover and the town of Lucy. Firstly, it is extremely important to identify correct borders between Hanover and Westmoreland so that there can be erected a permanent boundary. We are having problems where that is concerned. When you ask different agencies as to where the border going to the west between Hanover and Westmoreland, there are challenges in identifying these borders, the border itself. Presently, a number of hotels in Negril are located in Hanover, and they have a Westmoreland address. No fault at all. And likewise, there are hotels in the eastern end of Hanover that also have St. James address. Secondly, Minister, the road leading from Donald Sangster International Airport to the hotel in Negril are crucial to Negril's survival. Our visitors need to get to their hotel or to the airport safely and on time. If this does that, if this goes to the contrary, we know the negative impact, international impact this can have. Because when tourists leave here to go to the airport, it is going to be a challenge if they don't reach on time. And when tourists leave the airport to reach their hotel in Negril, they are going to be upset too. Therefore, we recognize the importance of having well-maintained roads in addition to proper regular traffic system through the town of Lucy. I don't know which one of you ever passed through the town of Lucy 3 o'clock on an evening and see how difficult it is to traverse, to get out of Lucy or to get into Lucy. And Lucy is the only parish capital that does not have a street. The street lights, the stop signs, we don't have one. It is also crucial to identify a sustainable alternative route that bypass Lucy, given the tendency of Lucy East River to overflow its banks. I know you must have experienced it, where the banks, that river out there to go across the bridge, overflow, and you have to sit there for hours and can't move. Then I'm going to go on another topic. Street lights provide a number of benefits, especially in the tourist area. It can be used to enhance security in addition to making an extension of business hours more feasible. Look at the lights that we have within the Negril area. I have gone to St. James, traveling from Lilliput, come into Rosal, and the area is well lit. Negril is the best tourist destination in Jamaica. You agree with me? And you can hardly see your hand if you walk on the street there now. Streetlights also improve safety for those who walk, ride, or drive on these roads where the natural lights fade. Minister, there are major sections of thoroughfare between Green Island and Negril that are without light, and it is serious security concern. Let me just identify the area that when I'm driving, I'm afraid. That arm from Rio going right back to the Salford Bridge. Just think about that, because I think that development on the left-hand side gave us little lighting now over where the development is, that is the country club, gave us little lighting. But when you go over Salford Bridge to go to Orange Bay, it is very serious. With all that said, let us see the importance of Negril to Hanover. Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in light of this, I greet you all and look forward to a positive and a productive meeting today. You know what? Let's get together and talk about the Negril. You want to start now? Okay, I'll give you the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I wonder what will happen if you were under the weather. When he said that I'm on, I was wondering what he was going to say. I was saying, no, don't say that. But certainly, I can guarantee you one thing, Negril, or people, this is not a talk shop. We have been doing this for a number of years. And what is happening, each issue that is raised, we are documenting the issue. And if we don't address it tonight, it will be addressed going forward. All right, so rest assured. So feel free, please document issues that you have and ask for Honorable Minister and others. I'm going to welcome now Mr. Daniel Grizzle, Negril Chamber of Commerce, to give his remarks.
Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government. A special welcome to you again in Negril. This is your second trip in 3 months. So tonight is a very, and by the way, a special welcome to our visiting mayor from UC, Hanover, Mr. Samuel, and our very own Mr. Ward. Welcome. Nice to have you. Tonight, there's a special welcome to my Negril fellow citizens. It's nice to see so many of you out here tonight. It's not often that we all gather here. Tonight is a very special night, and thanks for coming. Mr. Minister, we have several problems here in Negril, and we are truly hoping that you may help us to solve some of our problems. So far, on your last visit, you gave us a promise, and that promise was fulfilled. So we hope you will continue in that way. Negril contributes 29% of the revenue earned by tourism in Jamaica. Yet, as you go along, you go to Montego Bay, and it looks like a tourist resort. You go to Falmouth, and you're feeling proud to be a Jamaican. You go to Ocharios, it is a resort. You go to Port Antonio, it's a thriving resort. Then you come to Negril, and the guests ask for our town center. I hang my head in shame, and I was This is today. We are looking forward for tomorrow. There are certain issues that we would like to see addressed. And it's not a question of not having enough money. It's a question of not having the will sometimes and the proper management to get it done. Right. One of our big disgraceful things is the lack of proper garbage collection in the It's an embarrassment, and every Jamaican must feel ashamed when they expose the kind of filth and dirt to our visitors. We in the hotel industry, over the last 5 years especially, has been putting great effort in upgrading our facilities to make it at world standard compared to hotels, guest houses, resort anywhere in the world. Yet we are unable to realize the financial benefit because on the public side, it's letting us down. All of us here in Negril, all the properties, has discounted their rate annually for at least 30% just to remain in the market, simply because of the environment outside of our hotel. This has to change, and we're relying on you to do what you can and to impress upon your fellow cabinet members the need to look into the development of Negril. Our ladies has to stay underneath tarpaulin and bits of zinc to sell their vegetable food, which we all need. We all need a market. Yet, we have acquired a piece of land. We still cannot have a market after 20 years of trying to get that. You promise you are going to help us. And we are looking forward to your help because I think you're a man of your word. So please, sir, continue to push to let us achieve a fruit and vegetable market. We have gone with the help Mr. Issa has paid and that the development of what we all consider to be something we would appreciate. There is a picture of it there. We are ready, we have it priced, we have it designed. All we need is the finance to go ahead with it. We are here to help ourselves. We are asking for help from the state. Another area in which we are woefully inadequate. While this is a developing area, it's developing in terms of hotels, it's developing in terms of residents. Yet, we are woefully inadequate in the infrastructure. One of the main ones, the water, is a disgrace here. Most of the time we have no water. Come starting from next month, when the tourist season reaches peak, right back until April, the West End, which is part of Negril, most of the time has no water. The garbage collection, the water, sewage. We have a sewage plant which is woefully inadequate. It's a secondary plant. It was designed for the few people that were here some 10, 15 years ago. Each year we increase not only in the rooms, but in the residents, some 20%, and yet nothing has changed. We badly need a central sewage plant, a tertiary plant, that will protect our environment and enhance our ability to earn, not just for us, but for all Jamaicans. Now, another area which Mr. Mayor Samuels kind of gives the real reason why we should bring about this. We in Negril needs to be in a position where we can manage our resources a little bit. We can direct the small amount of resources that are allotted to us so we get maximum. And we need to establish a town management here in Negril. And this Negril that I'm speaking about, it stretches from the Amber Lighthouse over to Sheffield and beyond the South Negril River, way up into the territory of Hanover. We are not taking any of Hanover territory, but the resort of Negril is not just Westmoreland, it includes Hanover. But Negril needs some authority to manage its own affairs. And we're asking to help us to achieve town management here. There is a long list of things that we need, and I won't bore you with all of them. But what I'm asking you, if you can pull your fellow colleagues in the cabinet to have a look at Negril. This is our time for Negril to be developed as a result. The town center is a shame. Again, we have had plans and have got drawings, and we need to pursue that and to develop a place that we can call a town center where our small business people can thrive and have a chance. If you have thousands of tourists in the large 5-star all-inclusive hotel, and they are not tempted, they are not making it easy for them coming to town to spend some money, then the small business people will perish. We need to do something to make it more attractive. So the pyramid can only get higher when the base becomes broader. So we need all on board. We need to involve all of us into building a better Jamaica, starting here in Negril. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grizzle. We are moving quickly, so we invite Mr. Fredrick Moore from the Negril and Garnet Area Local Planning Authority to make his presentations. Please welcome Mr.
Thank you, everybody. It's great to see everybody here tonight. It's important to be involved in your community and understand that you too can have a voice in what happens. I'd like to greet Minister Desmond McKenzie and Mayor Bertel and Mayor Sheridan and all of the other members of government that are here tonight too, some of them who are going to give you a presentation. I'd just like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Fredrick. I live in Montego Bay, but I grew up in Ferris Cross, which is just down the road from here. And every weekend we used to load up in the car and come to Negril. In those days, we used to go down to near Coconut Cove, and it was a beautiful place. And I have to say that I love Negril, but more than that, I want to see Negril prosper as part of Jamaica. As the chairman of Nigalpa, I've just been appointed chairman a couple of weeks ago. The most important part role that I seek to fulfill is one that is transparent and is one that builds trust with all the stakeholders here in Negril. We have a lot of things that we want to accomplish, and I find that in Jamaica a lot of things spin around in circles for many, many years because nobody wants to work together. Nobody has a spirit of cooperation and a common objective. And that's what we need to do here today and going forward. In terms of the specific things that we're trying to accomplish, the first most important thing in terms of the development of Negril is establishing the boundaries of the master plan, which we'll hear more about when Nepa gives their presentation. But there are many thoughts on where the boundaries should be, but my goal is to formally establish this with Nigalpa and the help of the government stakeholders and the community stakeholders, and so that we can set proper planning guidelines for the area. The other thing that is a problem, and that I've been we've done since coming here, is the problem of the authority of Nigalpa. There's a lot of unplanned, unapproved development happening in Negril and all along the roads. We see it, there's a lot of indiscipline that's occurring, but there's a problem with enforcement. Some of you may know that Nigalpa does not have as much authority as they should, in my view, and that's something that I will be trying to accomplish in my tenure. One of the other goals that we have at Nigalpa is to develop the beach park and the craft market that they're sitting on. And Mr. Grizzle has already alluded to the fact that some stakeholders, including himself and Mr. Issa, have tried to come up with a plan that I've actually had the privilege of seeing in the last few weeks. And I think, again, something that we have heard about for many, many years. But again, we have to be very realistic about that not everybody can get what they want. And we need to cooperate and make sure that even if at the end of this next 2 to 3 years that we actually come out with a development on the park and a development of the craft market. You know, I was speaking, one of the first things that I did when we came here was to look at the things that Nigalpa has control over, and one of them is the craft market. And there are people in the craft market that are being charged $500 a month, and they won't pay, and they haven't paid for many, many years. So we have to be realistic about these things. We cannot have a craft market where people don't pay, right? And that's a reality. So all of the talk we have about developing these areas, there has to be an economic basis for pushing forward. The last thing that I would like to say is that I believe in the power of effective community action. And I view myself here as someone who can be the bridge, perhaps not in my official capacity, but at my personal capacity, is the bridge between the public and the stakeholders here in Negril and officialdom, meaning the government and even up to Minister McKenzie and others at a high level in government. And I promise you that I will seek to help uplift Negril. A lot of things that I'm a developer in Montego Bay, and for example, we built Fairview Shopping Center, and we developed most of what is now Freeport in Montego Bay. And much of what we have done has not relied on government. There's been people getting together with a plan, cooperating, seeking to understand the common goal of improving our surroundings. And I think that when you drive into Negril, I agree with Mr. Grizzle that Negril is woefully lacking, especially with its place as one of the #1 tourist destinations. But I personally am going to attempt to bring these stakeholders together and seek to make Negril better. And I hope that everybody here, including government and residents and business people, will join with me and give me your support. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mo. I'm going to borrow a phrase from him, power of effective community action. Very powerful phrase. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes. The turnout tonight is very impressive. Give yourself a round of applause for this good turnout tonight. We are going to move now into some presentations. First, we're going to have Mr. Garnet Edmondson from the National Solid Waste Management Authority, followed by Ms. Sherona Campbell from the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. So, Mr. Garnet Edmondson, you're up, sir. Time for your presentation. Please welcome him.
Honorable Desmond McKenzie, Minister of Local Government, His Worship Mayor Bertel and Mayor Sheridan Samuels, Mr. Daniel Grizzle, Negril Chamber, President, Negril Chamber of Commerce, councillors, one in the audience, good evening. First, let me start out by trying to apologize for us not doing a great job as we ought to do. Because I'll try to explain, but not make excuses as to why we are not doing a great job as we ought to. And also, in my presentation, I will try to explain some of the things that we have been doing. Now, we manage 4 parishes in this side of the island. And that in this section of Westmoreland takes in 234 communities, and to collect those communities 7 days per week and with the appropriate resources. Before 3 years ago, we inherited, 2 years ago, we inherited a system where trucks were run without proper servicing. Our minister, since took over office of local government, have managed to put some new trucks in the system. But what are these new trucks doing? They are replacing old units that break down very often. So a part of what we are doing is to replacing the old fleet with new fleet. And this is why the service delivery is not to where we want it to be. We know that the service delivery is not where we want it to be. But what are we doing? We are reaching out to community members through our councillors, through Facebook, through WhatsApp, news media, print media, you name it. We are out there, we are not hiding from the challenges. We are facing the challenges, and wherever the challenges are, we run on there and we try to fix them. Just since last month, we have engaged a very serious community group, stakeholder group within Negril. And the outcome of that group, I'm very excited about. Because we came together, persons from the parish council, chamber of commerce, local community, people from TEF, and we have decided that we are going to form this action group. What has been happening in this action group since the last month we met? We have put together a wonderful Facebook page, right, where we want persons to take pictures, upload, and we name people and shame them when we see them littering our spaces. Now, people might think it's simple to put a page up and nothing else is happening about it, but no. We capture the images of persons who litter spaces and we put it out there. Let people know of these persons, because I truly believe we must take responsibility of how we dispose of our garbage. The other plan that comes out of that group is our school sensitization program, education program. And we have already engaged a number of schools within the Westmoreland area, and they are on board. We also have identified areas where we will remove the illegal dump sites and retrofit them with beautification, beautify the area, and also no dumping signs. The program is far ahead because we have already procured and built those no dumping signs, just to get them passed by the parish council and the GALPA to put them in place. Signs are at the WPM office awaiting that approval. We have since then, from that group, started some number of enforcement activities, which I've seen in the last month, just last month, where we have served 15 tickets to persons and business operators within the Negril area. We have issued in that month also 6 major removal notices, and we have removed some 50 derelict vehicles from in and around the Negril area. So yes, things are happening out of this action group, out of WPM. We have recently received 1 new unit, which we try to juggle that unit as best as possible. It has worked in Negril over the past month, at least once per week. And remember now, we serve 4 parishes. What else have we been doing? If you notice the stretch of road from Montego Bay into Negril, especially in Hanover, can get real dirty because somehow we got a bright idea to put bins along our public main road, which takes up a lot of our resources. So we have put in place night collection to clear all those bins during the night. So in the day, we can focus on communities instead of focusing on getting our roadways clean so everybody can see that the roadways are clean. So yes, we are using the small resources, and we do ask the citizens to work with us, bear with us, hold some strain, because we are getting there. Promises, we will get there together. And how do we get there together? One of the other things that comes out of the group is the limited separation. So often, when we do our waste characterization and our waste study, we see so much plastic in our waste. If we start to separate these plastics, they can stay in our backyard, in our properly contained for 2 weeks, for a week. And this is a program that the action group will be embarking on to say, yes, we'll come and pick up the plastic with a special unit. There's recycling partners, which will be at the next meeting. And that will be something when we try to get that limited separation on board. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are not where we want to be, but we are getting there. I thank you so much.
Thanks, Sir Edmondson. I mentioned before that we're going to be inviting Ms. Sherona Campbell from the Ministry of Local Government. I should should have also mentioned that she'll be accompanied by my friend, Mr. Clive Edwards. So, Mr. Edwards, please make your way to the platform to support Ms. Sherona Campbell in this presentation. Please make them welcome.
All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening to you all. Before I begin my presentation, I just want to say that I'm very happy to see community members coming out to participate in their own development. I believe that Negril, you're a very progressive set of people, and you should give yourself a round of applause. All right? And really and truly, my presentation is centered around that. How can you better improve the sustainable development of Negril? When we speak about sustainable development, really, we speak about the environmental capital of Negril, right? That is critical because we depend on that for social and economic development. And your environmental capital is really a natural resources. We also speak about your social capital, the people, you here, your skill sets, your education, your health, and your well-being. We speak about your economic capital when we talk about sustainable development. And the reason why I'm speaking sustainable development is whatever you're thinking must be done in a way that will improve all of these resources in Negril, but not just you, but for your future generation. All right? So think sustainably. Sustainable development also includes the economic capital, improving on that. And your economic capital is the services and infrastructure such as the road, water, and your economic products, tourism. Critical to Negril, right? And so Negril is very peculiar. The mayor's mentioned it. Negril is really governed by two municipal corporations, Westmoreland and Hanover. And then there's Negril, the planning authority at the local level. And then there are so many other stakeholders with vested interest in Negril. Everybody have a concept or an idea of what they want Negril to be, right? But how do you bring it all together? How do you bring all of these ideas together as one so that everybody is on the same page? And so my question to you is, you don't have to respond now, just think about it, food for thought. What is really Negril's collective vision? What is your collective vision? What are the collective plans and actions to be undertaken to achieve this collective vision? And I ask you that because at the national level, we all know what Jamaica's vision is there. This is our national collective vision. Anybody know it? No? Jamaica, a place of choice to live, work, raise family, and do business. That is our national collective vision. Right? But when I look at Negril, what is your collective vision to improve your quality of life? Right? Do you have one? You want money? That is your collective vision? Awesome. But that's yours. What's your vision? And so everybody have a different vision. People want money, people want action. But how you bring all of that together to give Negril one collective vision? You want better? You see, everybody has. But how you bring it together? That is the question. How do you bring work together to bring? Okay. Awesome. All right, lady. All right, lady. And so at the national level, we do have that collective vision. But in pushing that vision forward, Vision 2030 National Development Plan is actually the roadmap for achieving Jamaica's vision. Is there a roadmap in Negril for achieving your vision? Right? Is there a roadmap? Is there a collective roadmap as to this is where you want to go in the next 10 to 25 years? Where? You have a little bit of it, but bring it all together. Bring it all together, all right? And so the reason why I'm saying that is that a development plan our development plans have been embraced around the world, and it's increasingly being considered at all levels of planning, right, to capture the vision of various jurisdictions. And some people may say these are lovely documents that we just create and then put down and we don't use them, but Negril is very progressive. And so I doubt that will happen in Negril, right? All right. And so these are the importance of a development plan, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what we're pushing at the ministry level as well, and it's also documented in the Local Governance Act, that each jurisdiction to improve the quality of life of citizens should have a vision, a development plan that guides you to indicate where you see yourself or where you want to go in the next 10 to 25 years. And I know you have all the challenges that you need to deal with now, but we also need to look to the future. What do we want to achieve in Negril in the future? Next 10 years, Negril should be this, and everybody agree that this is where we want to go. That is the benefit of having a development plan, ladies and gentlemen. And a very progressive and flexible development plan that integrates your social capital, your environmental, I see the environmental is looking at me, and your economic. Certainly governance is very critical to the whole process as well. And so I'm just going to identify some importance of having a development plan, right? It facilitates the creation and promotion of shared vision and actions. It promotes a platform for continuous dialogue with communities, and so the government and community will have to be continuously dialoguing to ensure that things are implemented or the actions identified are actually implemented. The plan also facilitates full community participation. It's also the best platform to localize global and national policies. We know about, some of us know about the sustainable development goals, global goals, climate change, which is also affecting us. And so the plan is actually the best mechanism to localize some of these initiatives. It facilitates the upgrade of necessary capacity or human or infrastructure, etc. And it also facilitates investment and economic growth, ladies and gentlemen. And so I know the minister is pressed for time and is itching to address you. And so my food for thought is just a question: what is your collective vision? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Your Worships, Councillors, Mr. Grizzle of the Chamber of Commerce, distinguished stakeholders of Negril, good evening. I'm happy to be back again to share ideas with you. Sherona just talked about sustainable development. I'm going to discuss governance, very brief governance framework, because sustainable development and governance are inextricably linked. They go together. I remember last year the idea was broached about Negril being a municipality, and the minister made some very important points in respect of ability to cover revenue, ability to support services that we normally supply by municipality, etc. And so there was understanding that we should look at other concepts that would more fit the Negril circumstance. And so I thought I'd share with you tonight a roadmap which at the end of tonight we can discuss in a group. I would recommend a group of municipal corporations of both parishes, PDC of both parishes, representatives from the private sector of both parishes, and also SDC to dig more deeply. But let me share with you the concept of the town centre and the town management program. It allows for an advisory committee, which is made up of civil society, private sector representatives, also government agencies that are particularly relevant in the particular jurisdiction, as well as elected officials who are impacted by those boundaries, local elected officials. And that's the advisory committee, who would give oversight to a town manager who would have specific terms of reference. And your town management program must have very specific tasks, activities, what you're going to be doing, what are you going to be your goals, what are your performance criteria around those goals. And your town manager must also be a part of that criteria. A town manager who will have the ability to not only give oversight to the administrative structure of the center, but also the ability to collaborate with sector groups, raise capital with sector groups. So you're looking at that type of persona in that situation. This concept allows for a local management mechanism, which can address some of the local issues that are besetting you, and that can give more focus on a day-to-day basis of those issues that are unique to Negril and that impacts the fabric or the improvement of your environment. There is a clear idea of what the boundaries are. So for future discussions are going to have to be made and be impacted by what are the boundaries of the jurisdiction in which the town center program and the town manager is going to be located. What are those clear responsibilities and how will the town center program be financed? There is no one template for financing a town center program because each jurisdiction is unique, it has its own peculiarities. You could use innovative means of probably a formula with your MC. You could probably use a service agreement. You could probably use a mixture of fundraising. There are many options that you could use, but that's the sort of menu that we want to discuss with the group to work out how financing of the program will be. The important thing is that we sit down and look at what are the issues that the town manager and the town manager program are going to address. What are those issues? How are they going to be addressed? What are the performance bases? How would you fund the town manager? And what are the reference aspects of the town management program? And most importantly, I end this point. The local governance mechanism is not something that's independent and sits out there by itself. We don't solve problems by being independent of a local government system. The municipal corporations have responsibility for parish government. Any town center, town management program, any other local government mechanism or local management mechanism has to be contextualized within the framework, government framework of the parish. That's important to recall, and so I give you that important point. It's a mechanism that has to work in context with your parish government and the parish government mechanism. So I hope that with the blessing of the you will organize a group that's going to look into those details and organize your representatives and representation. Have an action plan and a time-bound action plan as to how we proceed to do this analysis in a very transparent and logical way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Campbell, thanks. When we think about Negril, and though I am from Salalamar, which is just right up the road, I spend most of my time outside of Sal. So when we think about Negril, we think about the beach, we think about the white sand, we think about hotels, we think about road trip, we think about entertainment. Am I correct, people? Am I correct? Absolutely. This is from an outsider. Tonight we're hearing from you here about other issues that are affecting Negril and hope to address it. But at this point in time, because of entertainment, I want to welcome you to invite on stage Mr. Elebra to perform what I consider to be our next Grammy record. Don't let it. I see a video. Grammy singing. Mr. Elebra, please make him welcome.
Good night, one and all. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. We are working to protect the vulnerable. So I'm here tonight, I'm going to sing a song. A lot of you might feel, you're in this position, but considering that the Ministry of Local Government is rich and unity.
myself out of this bind. Keeping focus, trying not to lose my mind. But this is just a test of time. Ooh. But I will weather the storm, as long as Jah is by my side. I know that He'll keep me alive. Ooh. I've seen so much rain fall, until the sun will shine again. Behind every dark cloud, there is a silver lining. Yes, I wanna be free, free as can be. Take these chains from off of me. Yes, I gotta be free, free, free. Yes, I know I'll rise again. Every journey begins with only one step. I made my first step, and now I'm giving it my best. Our chain is so strong, only has its weakest link. You can break it only if you stop to think. But how long can you hold me down? My feet is planted on higher ground. One day I'll overcome. Yes, I wanna be free, free as can be. Take these chains from off of me. Yes, I'm gonna be free, free, free. I've broken your captivity. Yes, I'm gonna be free, free, free. Yes, I know I'll rise again. You must give unto Caesar what is due, and ask that your blessing bestowed on you. Dark be the road, but my light shines from within. Time is the master, that's how that be with everything. But how long can you hold me down? My feet is planted on higher ground. One day I'll overcome. Yes, I wanna be free, free as can be. Take these chains from off of me. Yes, I'm gonna be free, free, free. Thank you.
Do you agree? Grammy worthy? Oh yes. All right, let's move on quickly. So next we have a presentation from the National Water Commission, Mr. Richard Williams. Ready, Sir Williams? Let's go.
Honorable Minister, Desmond McKenzie, Mayors Bertel, Sheridan, ladies and gentlemen at the head table, other distinguished guests. I'm here to give a brief presentation on the plans of the National Water Commission to supply the Negril area with potable water and wastewater services. Currently, Negril is supplied from Logwood, which sends approximately 3 million gallons of water per day into this area. Based on our checks, the demand is actually 2 million gallons. So we are sending approximately 1 million gallons in excess of what is required. The sewer facility is able to treat approximately 3 million gallons of water per day, wastewater that is, which is equivalent to the water that we are supplying. We serve the area through 11 sewer pumping stations and a major treatment plant out by the Gulf Club. Our plan going forward is to improve the water supply that comes into Negril. This is in the short to medium term, 2019 to 2021. Now, the water supply, in order to augment the supply to Negril, we will have to do a major development at the Roaring River facility, which we will increase the supply from that facility by 5 million gallons of water per day. We will be running a 32-inch trunk beam across the parish of Westmoreland from Roaring River to Sheffield, where the existing supply comes in from Logwood, and we will interconnect at that point. When, as I said before, we are supplying in excess of what we know is required to supply Negril adequately. Whenever there is a drought, the Logwood facility goes down by about 50%, and that affects majority of the customers in Negril, mostly along the West End area. With this additional supply, 5 million gallons from Roaring River, it is anticipated that we, in the worst of time, we would not need in excess of 2.5 million of that 5 million to adequately supply the needs of the residents in Negril. So we are preparing for when we have drought. If we have breakdown of facility, we have another supply that can adequately put water in this area. We anticipate that future developments are underway, so we are also putting that in place so that we can supply the additional demand. As it relates to the sewer facility, we have acquired lands in the area, Negril spot, to develop a new tertiary treatment plant. That treatment plant will cover an increased demand or an increased influx of water of approximately 2 million gallons per day. So we would be able, whatever water we put in, we would be able to adequately treat that water at that facility. With that facility, we will also be improving or changing out the equipment that is now in use at the existing 11 sewer station. So basically we'll be upgrading the entire system to adequately address whatever water and sewer demands that are there in future. These two programs, the water program will run us approximately $70 million US, which we are now in discussion with private entities as a public-private partnership to ensure that we can get this project off the ground. The same is for the sewer improvement project. We have not yet finalized that arrangement, but we are well on the way to address the water situation. I've been told to make it brief, so I will just bring up the location map. This is the water where we'll bring the pipeline across country from Roaring River to Sheffield to intertie with the current existing system that we have here. The sewer shows the location of the proposed or the new sewer facility at Negril spot. I will await questions after the minister's presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Sir Williams. We're now going to be inviting Leonard Francis, Roland Alvarango from the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, representing the National Environment and Planning Agency. That's Mr. Leonard Francis and Mr. Alvarango. Please make them welcome.
Good evening, everyone. As was mentioned before, I am Roland Hanover of the Ministry of Economic Growth Senior Director of Development Planning Policy and Monitoring. We are here this evening to tell you about some of the activities that are being undertaken by the Ministry and its agency, the National Environment and Planning Agency. We have a slideshow that is prepared, and you can focus your eyes to the left here on the screen. Next slide. This is the conclusion of our presentation. We first give you a background on the planning strategy, planning initiative, environmental initiative, and enforcement, and then we have a discussion. Next slide, quickly please. The time is limited. As was mentioned earlier, the original Negril Green Island development order boundary is described here, and it basically starts at David's Ford and extends to St. John's Point in the southwest of the territorial water boundary. And this is general information on the population. They say a picture is worth a million words, so this is the map of the boundary that was just described earlier. Right. Okay. These are some of the challenges that are being faced by Negril here. And quickly, the increased intensity of development, the number of hotels that are, new hotels that are being constructed, and there is pressure on the formal and informal housing sector. You know, there's quite a high level of squatting that is taking place in Negril. Degradation of the wetland, beach erosion, and the need for improvement in infrastructure. The vision for the Negril area to pursue growth and development through tourism and agriculture while enhancing the special character of the area by protecting and improving its environmental quality through sustainable development. We've heard that term and several times this evening. Quickly go ahead. These are some of the planning initiatives that are being undertaken. The preparation of and confirmation of development order, new development order for Negril, settlement strategy, and the national spatial plan. And there is also a Negril cabinet note that outlines activities to be undertaken in Negril to improve its infrastructure and social facilities. The new Negril master plan project also, which was mentioned here earlier, and the strengthening of the local planning authority. And this cannot be done without collaboration with local authority and stakeholders. Okay, provisional development order. The Green Island development order has considerable expansion of coastal land, some of which are being developed, others which are experiencing significant development pressure. In order to preserve the character and scenic landscape of the area, policies were drafted to facilitate development through the area. And the major planning and environmental issues considered were density, building height, setback, conservation of moral, and other sensitive areas. Next slide, please. Settlement strategy, which is a component of the National Spatial Plan. Conduct road center survey, which is being planned, and 4 road centers in the development order area in Negril, Green Island, Sheffield, and Orange Bay, these are the areas. And the cabinet note identifying, allocate, and zone additional lands for commercial activities and municipal purposes. NEPA MED is in collaboration with UDC has commenced initial work toward a detailed land use plan and urban design from Negril County Extension. And NEPA and the ministry will be doing through the array for project a survey to examine and identify the extent of intrusion development in the Great Moray. As you know, on the landward side there's a lot of intrusion or illegal development in the Moray. Infrastructure development is also a part of the cabinet note strategy, and this is specific reference to water, sewage, road access, drainage, waste management, open space, etc. As you know, this will take a lot of financial support in order to undertake these activities. And the management of informal development, enforcement and monitoring is a critical part of the agency and the local planning authorities, and also to improve the application review process, the development approval process. In terms of the master plan, Negril master plan, the cabinet reviewed a submission and by decision dated 2017 gave approval and instruction for the following. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation give consideration to two distinct areas of Negril. Lodge Bay for the western, which is referred to as the western section. Lodge Bay in Green Island, which is referred to as the eastern section. And all this is now being described as the old and the new Negril. It's like the latter, as I mentioned before, new Negril would have the proposal is remarked, this is just a proposal, no decision has been taken on it. Because the cabinet also instructed that consultation should be held to further refine these proposals. So the area referred to as new Negril would have no height restriction and the height of buildings, resort buildings, that is, would be dictated by capacity needs. The Ministry of Laws requested a clear proposal taking into account the above recommendation and to include the capital infrastructure and financial requirements I just mentioned before. Next slide. And the cabinet gave approval also in terms of the boundary, because after the first cabinet submission and the proposed boundary, there was some discussion within the cabinet as to the appropriate boundary for this area to be described as the new Negril. It was further redefined, and in essence, it will begin from the border of the parish boundary of Hanover and Westmoreland to the city limits of Lucy and Hanover. And it is again subject to further consultation. And in this year and a new Negril, cabinet also gave approval for the continuation of the process for revision of the planning parameters, which basically increasing the height of building density to take in consideration the area redefined as new Negril. Next slide, please. I think that concludes it. We'll have further discussion in the question and answer section. But Mr. Francis will now continue on the environmental initiatives being undertaken.
I'll be very brief because we have had a very long day at night as well, right? This section will be done by Mr. Anthony McKenzie, but unfortunately he is on his way. I think he's stuck in traffic in Sam. So quickly, these are major environmental projects from 2012 to present. Alright, basically the Negril Marine Park Management Plan, the climate change disaster risk reduction, increase the resilience of coastal ecosystem to climate change, another project called enhancing the resilience of the agricultural sector, and another one called IW Eco, which I know that there have been discussions within the Negril area. There will be further discussions with respect to the final implementation of the plan. Those are the various plans that are here right now. And there is a zoning plan for the Negril Marine Park that has been completely approved by the cabinet and is going to the final rounds of promulgation. As you should be aware, under the climate change adaptation and disaster risk reduction initiatives, there's a seagrass conservation program that is ongoing. Sir. Okay. Then there's a climate change adaptation disaster risk reduction initiative. That's a modular turbulent generator, which most of you would have known about as well. All right, then there's the under the climate change adaptation disaster risk reduction initiative. There's a beach restoration Sheridan as well.
We never got the report on it.
Okay, we'll have that discussion. And of course, there's a water quality monitoring process that has been ongoing since 1992 for 14 sites in Negril. And I'll just quickly show you what the results are. These are the results that are there. As you can notice, the peak there, all right? That's a phosphate, that's a BOE, that is where the peak has been, and as you notice, it has actually dropped after that. Fecal coliform, and this is spread off the freshwater sites in Negril, and the sites are there.
Moving too fast.
All right, now, under the enhancing the resilience of the agriculture sector and coastal area to protect livelihoods and improve food security projects, this is where we are in respect of the consultant we engaged. The deadline to receive proposal was this date, and those were received by the tender process, which was closing here. And as you know, the project itself is on. This is the other project, the Idol Eco, is $3 million, the most recent project, allocated for 4 years. And I know there have been ongoing discussion with the various groups as well. All right, now, the major enforcement initiative for Negril, all right, in that the strategy employed is very simple. Post-permit and license and approval monitoring, investigations in response to information received from stakeholders. From time to time, people explain to us what's happening and we actually investigate and do what needs to be done. Now, for the 5-year period, starting from now, this is what has been done. 44 enforcement instruments, and this is actually done in collaboration with the Garnet and the local authorities, Hanover and Desmond. And basically, this is the majority of fish were served, and then, and this is showing the trends in respect of action that have been taken. Now 65% of enforcement actions taken for the entire parish of Westmoreland and Hanover, and 50% enforcement notice served for breaching the conditions of permits and license, and the others were actually for people who have started building illegal. All right? Now, what the agency is saying is that we are actually asking for more stakeholder involvement within the processes, within the various projects, and in respect of enforcement and monitoring. Now, we're going to be quick, I know that, but then hopefully questions will come out during the discussion section, okay?
Thank you, Sir Francis and Alvarango. We're approaching the time quickly for our Honorable Minister to speak, but just before he speaks, we're going to invite Ms. Lisa Golding from the Urban Development Corporation to give us a quick address. Ms. Golding.
Thank you, Dr. Vernon, Mr. Master Servant, Honorable Minister Desmond McKenzie, Your Worship, both and other members of the head table, our colleagues and stakeholders in the audience, good afternoon, good evening. While I wait on, we'll go right back to the beginning. I just want to quickly say while we wait on the technology to catch me up that UDC is pleased to be able to share today in this town hall meeting, and especially on World Town Planning Day. Certainly, World Planning Day, the Minister would have been celebrating earlier with a kickoff launch, and the corporation is indeed celebrating as well as we look at our 50th anniversary of making development happen. Negril was one of the UDC's very early projects, and while the corporation's focus was primarily to promote resort and residential and recreational development,
certainly would have also have done significant work from as far out as Orange Bay into the town centre. So this afternoon I want to just take us through where we are now in terms of UDC's assets in Negril and some of the plans that are currently afoot, as well as some of the divestments that have taken place. So the current land holdings in Negril, and the map may be a little bit small for some of us to see, but there are significant land holdings that we continue to have. One of the interesting things I don't think many people realize is that the UDC actually, but maybe about 70% of the land we still own in Negril is in the Great Morass. So we do have a large percentage of our land holding that is environmentally sensitive and that is under protection by law. So as we go along, I want to talk very quickly about some major developments that are happening and some that have taken place in the past. One of our great responsibilities, as I said earlier, is really the supporting of the environmental initiatives in Negril as a partner as well with NEPA and with the Negril Green Island Local Planning Authority, on which we sit on the board, that we have made a lot of input into ensuring that we can protect what remains part of the critical essence of what Negril is. Having said that, let's talk very briefly about some of the properties we continue to own and operate. UDC, as you may be aware, we just saw an image of the Long Bay Beach Park in Negril. So we have two beach parks, public beach parks, under operation in Negril. One which we operate ourselves, and one which is operated on the lease. So the Long Bay Beach Park in Negril continues to exist as an open 7-day-a-week public operation at a very minimal cost. Earlier today, someone asked me about having to pay, and I deliberately said it's $150 for the use of the facility, not to go to the beach. And it's important to make the distinction because there is a concern, but we provide clean restrooms that are functional and staff that ensure you have a clean beach, and that's important. The second property that I know in past we've had a lot of discussions at the Destination Assurance Council meetings is our Long Bay Beach Park property, which is called Long Bay 2. And we've been talking a lot about boundaries between Westmoreland and Hanover. So can I say on the Hanover side? Yes, ma'am. On the Hanover side. So there are two parcels of land, and I wanted to just speak to the divestment of the management operations of parcel 1. I'm using the terminology to say we have entered into a lease. The property has not been sold. So we would have had two opportunities that were offered. One 3 years ago by way of public tender with a request for proposals for the development of a recreational space, improvement of a beach park we were operating. That has gone through, and the operators just won services. Many of you would have had the opportunity to visit that property and to see the improvement. In May of this year, May 22nd to be exact, we offered an opportunity, and if I could just go to the next slide. All right, because this gives a clear indication, and I think for a lot of the Negril stakeholders, of what the property looks like. So the Long Bay 2 property, which is the east, my bearings are always bad. That is north of what everybody commonly refers to as Issa House, has 2 parcels of land. The entire portion is just over 4 acres, almost 5 acres. And we offered 2.1 acres initially in our initial offer. In May of this year, so that is the top parcel, we offered the bottom parcel by way of public advertisement again for the continued development of a recreational space for public access. It's important to say this because in keeping with the government of Jamaica's initiative to develop or redevelop, identify or develop 33 public beaches across the island, one of the things that the UDC has committed is where there are lands available to ensure that we provide beach access for public. So this was advertised in May, closed in July. It is currently in the evaluation stage, and so it is with our board for a decision as to whether or not, and this offer is for lease, not for sale, okay? I wanted to just very quickly, I know the Negril stakeholders know the place, but this is of course before we were at where it currently is. some of the amenities that have been built out with private sector investment in what is a public-owned space to ensure that through private sector and public partnerships, we're able to provide a better environment for the community. And I just want to say as well, before I wrap up, because a lot of what we have partnered with, including the discussions about the environment, the discussions about the Negril master plan, our work on Nigalpa's board as the primary planning authority for the zone, is tied up in a lot of the presentations that went before. I just want to say that our consideration now in terms of the lands we continue to own are for the development of public space. Incidentally, we still own and operate the Rutland Point Craft Market, which of course is up the road from here. So the future engagements in preparation for the master plans that were previously mentioned really will support the urban and rural development, which is UDC's primary mandate. And of course, we have to give great consideration to fast-tracking what is happening with the world and therefore meeting some of the expectations of stakeholders. There's one other property that I should have mentioned that is not there, that I know there's some concern about as well, and that is the property immediately beside Long Bay Beach Park, what was formerly Cosmos. The UDC has not made, the board is currently considering the possibility of sale. No sale has taken place, but it is a consideration of whether or not we will divest that particular property, because we will continue to operate the football field, which is to be improved, and the Long Bay Beach Park one, which is public access, for which we have rehabilitation plans as part of the government of Jamaica. So the support to the planning process in Negril under the Negril Island Authority is one of the core commitments that we continue to have, and of course to be involved with our stakeholders, especially in terms of representation of where the government of Jamaica through the UDC lands intends to go, because our intention is to use the lands we hold as a catalyst for development. Thank you much.